Hey, what's up everybody? This is Brad from Liquis Design, and I just wanted to shoot a quick video to tell you about a new WordPress update, WordPress 5.0. It was released on the 6th, which was yesterday, depending on when you're watching this video. It's a great update, but there are major changes to how the WordPress core works and how the back end of WordPress is going to work. So it's going to greatly affect your themes and your plugins. So right to the point, I'm going to recommend that you do not update to WordPress 5.0 just yet. Inevitably, you will have to at some point, and I think it's actually a really cool update that they've released. But with any new releases, it's going to, all of the plugin developers, all of the theme developers have to get their code and all of their stuff up to speed, which I'm going to assume that all major plugins and all major theme developers have done this and are prepared for this. But we all have those plugins installed on our site, those random one-off plugins, and we don't know how those are going to be affected just yet. This thing just came out yesterday, so I would highly recommend not updating. So WordPress does have this feature where it will automatically auto update your WordPress core. So I've done some research and I cannot find the answer anywhere. I am pretty certain that they are not rolling out this WordPress 5.0 update as an auto update release. So it should not auto update. You would have to manually update this. So yeah, just again, quick dirty, there is no reason to update just yet. I would hold off. So just to kind of explain in more detail how this all works. So think of your WordPress site and the WordPress core, think of it as your phone. So the WordPress core is like the operating system on your phone. And all the plugins are all of the apps you have installed on your phone. So as new security releases and new features happen, plugin developers or app developers will release new updates, and you'll get an update notification. You'll update your plugin, and then every so often your operating system on your phone will have an update as well. So kind of the same theory, right? That's how WordPress works. There's one other feature in WordPress is themes. All WordPress sites run on themes, and the biggest thing you're going to see, and probably the most what you'll see that will break, is if your theme is using a page builder. And most modern themes these days have a page builder. So I'm going to flip over and show you the back end of a site that I have, and just kind of give you an idea of what this is going to look like. So I updated to WordPress 5.0, and it's not going to necessarily take your site down, but it could break some plugins. If you're using a theme that has a page builder, it will almost most likely break that. So let's just jump into this so you can kind of get an idea. If you don't care about this, then you can jump off this video. The big point that I want to make is I would not update WordPress to WordPress 5.0 just yet. So don't do that. If you have plugins that have updates, update those. If your theme has updates, update those, but do not update WordPress core just yet. I would give it some more time. So anyway, for those that want to learn a little bit more about the update, let's jump into the back end here. Okay, so I just have a site pulled up. If you do go through the update process, I would definitely make sure that you have a backup that you can access of your database and all of your files, and that way, if something does break, you have a backup. But anyway, I'm going to assume you're not updating, because that's the whole point of this video. So anyway, let's say it does auto update. What's going to happen is if you have a site that's using a page builder, it's going to basically replace your page builder with this. And I would recommend you still use your page builder. That's what your theme is set up to use, and it's going to give you way, way more options than this is going to do. So for example, if I go into my pages, let me just leave that, and I go into this test page. Okay, and now I should have a page builder here because the theme I have installed has a page builder, and I don't have it. So what do? I need to go into my plugins and add a new plugin, and it's called Classic Editor. So when you install the new WordPress 5.0 Gutenberg edition, it's going to give you this option when you install it if you scroll all the way down at the bottom. Or you can go into Add New and search Classic Editor. And then you can install and activate it. So I already have it installed, so I'll just go ahead and activate it. So what this is going to do is it's going to give you the option to bypass the new Gutenberg editor. So now if I go into one of my pages and I go into, let's say I want to edit this new test, I can go into Block Editor, which is the Gutenberg editor, or I can go into the Classic Editor. And this is what you're going to be familiar with, the Classic Editor. And on this one, so I have a Classic Editor, this is what you should be familiar with. If you have a page builder installed, then depending on what you have installed, you'll have some type of backend editor option. So now we're back to the way the site used to be before the update. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new post so you can kind of see what this new Gutenberg looks like. So this is what the screen looks like when you get to it. And let's say close these down. You can ignore these. These are all just based off of plugins and themes that I've installed. Okay, perfect. So it's going to look like this. So it's way, way different. And but I guess it still has the same stuff. It's just laid out way different. The big thing that they've done is they've created blocks. Everything is a block. So instead of having one WYSIWYG editor that you add content to, you can add blocks. So it's a really cool feature. So it's kind of almost like a page builder, if you will. So like any post or page, you have to give it a title. So we're going to call this a test post. Okay. So that's the title of our post, just like you would have on any page or any post. So bear with me because I am still a little new to this myself. So I'm still kind of working through how this works. You can see over here, we have document, we have block. Well, let's just first talk about document. So document is all like the page or post settings. So whether the post is public or a draft, who the author is, the permalink, your categories, tags. So I'm in post, so it has tags and categories, the featured image. So all of this stuff is not new. This is just moved from stuff that was down here, and the stuff that was already over here in previous versions is now in these little drop downs. So that's really all that's changed over here. So it's just a different view. So that's the document tab. The block tab is for these blocks. So anytime I click on a block, let's say I want to create a new block. So if I go to this plus sign or click a plus sign down here, is going to add a block. So think of it as like a builder element. So I can add paragraph text, I can add a heading, image, galleries, list, columns, a cover image. I'll get to what this is in a second. A quote. So these are most used blocks. If I minimize that, then I have inline elements like an inline image. I have common blocks. So these are just commonly used ones. So I can do audio, I can upload a file, I can do formatting, so I can do code or custom HTML, a quote. Okay, I think you get the idea. Embeds, YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. So you can add these blocks. So that's actually pretty user-friendly, right? So let's say I'm going to add an image. So actually, you know what? I'm going to do a paragraph text. That's what people are most common. It's the most common. So anyway, I added that. So now I can say this is text. That is a test. Okay, so now I have this block here. I'm adding a text block, right? And now while I'm hovering over it, if I click on this blocks tab, then now I have these text settings. So I can change the size of the text right here. I can create a drop cap. I can change the colors. So that's the background color. I can change the text color. So you got all of your options for the block over here. And depending on what block you use, these options will change. So let's say I add an image. So if I come over here and hover somewhere down here, okay, let's just go back up here and add an image. Okay, so now I have an image. I can upload an image or pick something from the gallery. Okay, let's just pick this image, and now I've inserted an image. If I click on that image, I can add alt text to it. I can change the size to a medium size. I can actually set the width and height. I just want it 50%. I can make it link to either a media file or some other link. So these are all settings we're familiar with. They're just kind of in different spots. Okay, so here are some quick buttons. So I can add another image, I can add a heading, I can add a gallery. So let's just say I want to add another heading. I can just click on that. Another heading. Okay, so now I can click on this heading and I can say, oh, I want this to be an H3, I want it to be center aligned. And then I can also click and drag it into different areas. There we go. Okay. So this is really how it kind of works. You're creating blocks. So let's say I want to have this block element. I'm going to reuse this on multiple areas throughout the site. So the benefit of this is I can save this element, or this block I should say, as a reusable block. So I can go ahead and go up to this more options tab right here, or button, and then I can say add to reusable. And now I'm going to give it a name. We'll just call it fancy title. And I'm going to save it. So now let's say I go over to, I'm just going to go ahead and update this post. So now let's say I'm going to go to another post. And I'm going to reuse this element. I'm sorry, a block. Okay, so let's go to another post. And let's edit it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in at the bottom. I'm going to go down and I have these, now that I saved a reusable block, I have this reusable tab. So now I have this fancy title, boom, I can click on that and now I have it. So now I can save these blocks and reuse them throughout the site. So that's really what this is. Okay, so that is my quick tip information on the new update. So again, I would recommend to hold off on this update and wait for the theme developers and the plugin developers to get caught up to speed. Again, I think most of the major theme developers and plugin developers have already made these updates and are ready for you, but I would still give it a little bit. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.